Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Janda Shabbat Paramahamsa Parivajapacharya Ashtatashish Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajapacharya Ashtatashish Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guru. Can you eat me a Bhagavad Gita, please? Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. 8th Canto. Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations, Chapter 8, The Churning of the Milk Ocean. Text 3. So if you please repeat after me. Tata Uchau Shriva Nama Hayo Buch Chandra Panduraha Tasmin Bali Spriham Chakre Nendra Ishvara Shikshaya Tata Uchai Shrivanama Ayobuch Chandrapanduraha Tasmin Balispriham Chakre Nandra Ishvara Shikshaya Tata Uchai Shivanama Ayobuch Chandrapanduraha Tasman Balispriham Chakre Nandra Ishvara Shikshaya Tata Uchai Shivanama Ayobuch Chandrapanduraha Tasmin Balispraham Chakre Nandra Ishvara Shikshaya Nindra Tapas.
Vijay Krishna Prabhu is here. He should go first.
Yes. Tata Uchai Ravanama Hayo Buchandra Panduraha Tasmin Bali Spriham Chakre Nandra Ishvara Shikshaya
Tata Uchraiva Nama Hayo Bhut Chandra Pandura Tashmin Bali Spriham Chakre Nandra Ushara Shikshaya
Tataha. Thereafter. Uchai Shrivaha Nama, by the name Uchai Shriva. Hayaha, a horse. Abut was generated. Chandrapanduraha, being as white as the moon. Tasmin, unto it. Bali, Maharaj Bali. Spriham Chakre, desired to possess. Na, not. Indraha, the king of the demigods. Ishvara Shikshaya, by the previous advice of the Lord. Translation. Thereafter, a horse named Ucheshava, which was as white as the moon, was generated. Bali Maharaj desired to possess this horse, and Indra, the king of heaven, did not protest, for he had previously been so advised by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next. As the next result, is that what it says? As the next result of the churning, the king of elephants named Airavata was generated. This elephant was white, and with its 4 tusks it defied the glories of Kailash mountain, the glorious abode of Lord Shiva. Thereafter, O king, 8 great elephants which could go in any direction were generated. They were headed by Airavana. 8 she-elephants headed by Brahmu were also generated. Purport. The names of the 8 elephants were Airavana, Pundrika, Vamana, Kumuda, Anjana, Pushpadanta, Sarvabhauma, and Supratika. Text 6. Generated thereafter from the great ocean were the celebrated gems Kaustubha Mani and Padma Raga Mani. Lord Vishnu, to decorate his chest, desired to possess them. Generated next was the Parijata flower, which decorates the celestial planets. O king, as you fulfill the desires of everyone on this planet by fulfilling all ambitions, the Parijata fulfills the desires of everyone. Next, there appeared the Apsaras, who were used as prostitutes on the heavenly planets. They were fully decorated with golden ornaments and lockets, and were dressed in fine and attractive clothing. The Apsaras, moving very slowly in an attractive style that bewilders the inhabitants of the heavenly planets. All right, 8. Tatascha virabhut sakshat Sri Rama Bhagavat Para Ranjayanti Disha Kantya Vidyut Samdami Maniyata. Then there appeared the goddess of fortune, Rama, who is absolutely dedicated to being enjoyed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She appeared like electricity, surpassing the lightning that might illuminate a marble mountain. Purport. Shri means opulence. Krishna is the owner of all opulences. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridim sarvabhutanam gatvamam shantamrichati. This peace formula for the world is given in Bhagavad Gita 5:29. When people know that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the most intimate well-wishing friend of all living entities, peace and prosperity will ensue all over the world. Unfortunately, the conditioned souls, being placed into illusion by the external energy of the Lord, want to fight with one another, and therefore peace is disturbed. The first prerequisite for peace is that all the wealth presented by Shri, the goddess of fortune, be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone should give up his false proprietorship over worldly possessions and offer everything to Krishna. This is the teaching of the Krishna consciousness movement. Om Gyanitivedandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmaditam Nena Tasma Shri Guruve Namaha Makam Kadivachalam Pangam Langa Tekidim Yakipatamaham Bande Shri Gurundinitaranam Vancha Kapadribhishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, according to some individuals, specifically those who subscribe to the idea that the living entity has fallen from the spiritual world, which we haven't really done a poll, but some would say most people or followers of Srila Prabhupada accept that. Seems anyways. I don't know, maybe we should do a poll. Who accepts that? But that if one accepts that idea that one has fallen from the spiritual world, you could say that is a mistake. That's a mistake. That's the first mistake. If one accepts the philosophy, yeah. If one accepts that philosophy that, okay, I've fallen from the spiritual world, that we chose to neglect Krishna, that we have forgotten Krishna, that is a mistake. We've come to this material world, that is a mistake. That's the first mistake. And then after that, there's so many other mistakes. Not in only just one life, but so many lives. So many mistakes are there. There's one saying that Srila Prabhupada would use sometimes, although I didn't hear him use it very often, but one devotee quoted this. He said that good judgment comes from experience. So you have experience, good judgment. And then experience comes from bad judgment. So if we commit mistakes, then that's our experience. We're just committing mistakes, and then eventually, hopefully, that idea becomes good judgment, that yes, I have went through so many things in my life, and I've made so many mistakes, and now I understand how I should be operating. So yeah, accepting material existence is a mistake, and then so many mistakes ensue after that. And of course, accepting that we are a physical body, also the mind, identification with the body, identification with the mind. So that's all there. But then coming to Krishna consciousness, or accepting the process of Krishna consciousness, we come to the temple, they tell us, you're not your body, chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, bow down to Krishna. So we start engaging in that process. But then in that process, there might be so many mistakes that we commit. Like deity worship, we were mentioning the other day, there's a lot of different offenses one could commit. Therefore, it's advised that after you exit the altar, you should chant prayers in which you're asking for forgiveness. Please forgive me if I have not chanted this mantra or that mantra properly. Please forgive me if so many things could go wrong. So we come to we start to practice Krishna consciousness, and then there may be so many mistakes that we commit. And for some people, that bothers them a lot. There's certain people out there who just hate committing mistakes, like me. Just hate committing mistakes. It really annoys them, it bothers them, it causes them a lot of pain, it causes them a lot of suffering, and they have a hard time processing it, especially when the mistakes are just so simple and unnecessary. Just like, did I really just do that? Did I really just say that? Did I really just think that? Like, what? So it could be very troubling to some people. Some people, they don't care so much, and some people, they don't care at all. It's like, oh, so what? We're humans, we make mistakes. Some people, I guess some people love each other, love themselves very much. It's like, so what? I commit mistakes. One devotee was worried that this other new bhakta, he was going to commit suicide. They were worried that, And I said, no, he'll never do it. I said, he loves himself too much. in an egoistic way. He was very kind of, loved his appearance and loved his whatever, so many things about himself. So yeah, some people say, oh, this is just divine. Whatever I do is divine. Whatever, it's all coming from Krishna, no problem. So in this way, there's different ways people think about it. There's different ways that people think about their mistakes. And it's important that we accept that we do commit mistakes. That's one of the imperfections of the conditioned soul. They commit mistakes. What are the other three? They become illusioned, imperfect senses, and they have a tendency to cheat. So these are the four flaws of the conditioned soul. They tend to cheat, they tend to make mistakes, they become illusion, and they have imperfect senses. Srila Prabhupada gives example of Mahatma Gandhi in committing a mistake. People told him, "Do not go to that meeting. It's not good for you. Will be problems there." But he went to the meeting, and at that point he was assassinated. Imperfect senses. The sun just looks like a little disc up there, but it's much much bigger than that. Cheating, so much cheating going on. Sometimes people are scammed out of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, all online. Just really quick, there's a lot of cheating going on. But to err as human, so that's one of the flaws of the conditioned soul. So coming to material existence is a mistake, and then in material existence there's so many mistakes, and that is the symptom of a conditioned soul. But ultimately, we want to become free of committing mistakes, at least as far as possible. And it is possible to do that. The more, like Srila Prabhupada said, it's Prabhupada's quoted to say this. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember hearing a disciple saying some disciples you hear that disciples say this, but you're not exactly sure. There's certain things out there that you're not exactly sure if Srila Prabhupada said it. But anyways, he is said to have said, first become conscious, then become Krishna conscious, which become thoughtful, become introspective, think things out, plan ahead, try to foresee the future a little bit, right? Try to think, okay, have a plan A, a plan B, plan C. If this doesn't work, then do this. If that doesn't work, do that. Think on your toes. Is that a saying? Is that a saying? No, no. Think on your toes? That sounds strange, huh? Think on your toes? Oh yeah, think on your feet. Okay, sorry. Think on your feet. Still kind of a strange saying. Think on your feet, which means if something comes up, then immediately try to think, okay, what do I do? How do I solve this problem? Like if there's some problem that just comes up, okay, what to do? It's like kind of sharp, like sharpen the mind to think properly. And Srila Prabhupada, he really liked this. He really appreciated that he was like that, and he really appreciated that his disciples were like that. That they had plans, that they thought ahead, that they thought on their feet, that they were innovative, that they knew what to do under really any circumstance. They were ready, always ready, like Hanuman, right? He's always ready to jump, serve. You see Hanuman, like Garuda also here. There's a display of Garuda. So Garuda, he's not lying down. He's not even sitting cross-legged. But you see one of his legs is up. What does that mean? It means he's ready to go. He's just like he's ready to have Lord Vishnu jump on his back, or not jump on his back, but get on his back, and he's ready to go. So he's always ready to move. So one devotee, the driver of Radhanath Swami last night, Rupa Nuga Prabhu's son-in-law, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go get the car ready. And he's like, yeah, I don't think Mars is leaving anytime soon, but at least I have it ready. And I said, oh, just like Hanuman, right? You're ready to go. He said, yeah. So it takes training. We have to train ourselves. It's a battle, actually. We have to fight because the lower modes are constantly trying to... there's a fight between the modes happening. But it's just a question really of just deciding, okay, I need to change something about myself. I commit too many mistakes. I forget things too much. I guess the term, maybe it's like a 70s term, or some people like a hippie term, which devotees, maybe we could try to throw that term in the trash can, just like Jayadvaita Swami, he gives a seminar on speaking, and how there's so many terms that devotees use that's just kind of hippie terms, or from the hippie culture. One of them, I think he said one of them is space out, right? Yeah. Spaced out, yeah. So we may, what's a more refined way of saying spaced out? Or space out? What's a more refined way? Here we go. This is our time to change the culture. Let's hear what this is going to change the history. At least we could start here in San Diego. What's a more refined term? I was inattentive, neglectful.
I was forgetful.
We need something catchy, though.
Yeah. I guess also really like a verb, like I did this, so. Because there's the other phrase, I dropped the ball. Not that we want to replace it with that one. But, yeah.
I dropped the ball?
Like that's a similar thing.
That's better than spaced out.
Not necessarily, I'm saying that's not a phrase people use. I'm not saying we should replace it with that.
Well, now you're going off in the left field, Chad. No. That's all right. That's all right. We'll forgive you. So we may think, okay, we're however you want to term it. We have become we've made a mistake. Messed up. We messed up. Hare Krishna, Sureshwar. Good morning. Hare Krishna.
Who can use mic?
So we have to decide that yes, I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. I made mistakes before coming to Krishna consciousness. I made mistakes while I've been trying to be Krishna conscious. And okay, fine. That's maybe it's like very pessimistic. So many mistakes. But I've also tried to do so many good things, and hopefully I've encouraged some people along the path. And hopefully I've pleased Krishna and the spiritual master and devotees to some degree. So it's a mix. But as far as possible, we want to get away from making mistakes and just have the positive aspects going on. So again, we have to decide that, yes, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do moving forward. We have to try to refine things. Refine our behavior, refine our consciousness, refine our mode of thinking and treating others. And that requires us to be perceptive. And some devotees that you meet seem extremely perceptive. It's like, God. I mean, people would have that experience with Srila Prabhupada. He was just so perceptive, people were like almost scared. It's like, this person's so perceptive. Scared in a sense that, Prabhupada will look at you and he's just like, it's like he's really penetrating into your, seeing you as the soul. It seems like he's seen a lot more than what anyone else has seen. So that perceptiveness is important to try to develop that quality by maturation, right, of our consciousness maturing. Our consciousness maturing. A very perceptive devotee that I met some time ago was Navina Nirada Prabhu, the book distributor. So perceptive. He could just really just look at someone or talk to someone and really understand what's going on, as far as someone could. So when he visited here, towards the end of the visit, he mentioned a few things that he felt we should work on. And this was some years ago, one is we should have a more formal greeting in the lobby, which we do. Mukunda Charan Prabhu does very nicely. So we did take care of that.
When did you mention that?
This was years ago. I forgot And then he also mentioned how should be a little more punctual and organized in relation to starting a Krishna lounge and so on. That also has become significantly better. He mentioned that the brahmacharis he felt should not retire to the ashram, but should spend time speaking with guests and talking with people and so on. He said older devotees, okay, fine, we understand that, they need to, but the younger brahmacharis, they should try to extend themselves as much as possible to guests. Because, in a sense, you're inviting them to, it's not your home, but it's, you live here. So he mentioned that. And some other things. What else did he mention? Navina Nirda. Yeah, anyways, but so people can so some devotees are extremely perceptive, and it does require us. We should also try to develop that perception. We should be perceptive in Krishna consciousness. Just like guest treatment. I mean, it's amazing sometimes the amount of mistakes that happen in guest treatment, or the amount of, or the lack of mistakes that happen in guest treatment. It's amazing. Yeah, the lack of mistakes, yeah. But more common than not, there's mistakes in guest treatment. In Vedic culture, the idea is that the guest, they should be treated as Bhagavan, Krishna. So that's pretty high standard of guest treatment. So you don't pick up a guest in a unclean, external, internal, unclean car. It should be clean. You should have garlands. You should be on time at the airport. You should tell them where you are, what type of car you have, if you're by, pillar B10, or if you're circling around. It's like an Uber, it's like a professional thing. It should be professional. What about scheduling? You should tell them the schedule, Not that they have to ask every little thing. And on and on and on and on and on. You should give them more than $2 as a donation. You should give them some donation. There should be some kirtan party and so on. So, and people coming from India still now are just, it's amazing. It's amazing how much they do not make mistakes in this regard. Just take a look at some videos. You look up Bhakti Vikas Swami, for example, arriving in Gujarat or something. Of course, he's their spiritual master. He's the guru, and that's another thing, how we receive the guru. But still, they do that with all senior devotees, all sannyasis. It's not just him. It's a real celebration. It's considered a wonderful thing. This person's coming, and garlands are there. Anyway, it's a whole. You could take a look. It's actually quite amazing. So, you come to America, and it's like kind of late to the airport. You show up. There's kind of. I mean, we're in the wealthiest country, one of the most wealthiest countries in the world, and we could, maybe provide one garland. In India they give you, 30 garlands, all that. So we could learn a lot. But that's just one facet of making mistakes in Krishna consciousness. There's so many mistakes. That's why it's kind of could be overwhelming, right? There's so many mistakes that could be made. But ultimately, the main mistake is because even if we're trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and at least we're here, at least we're trying, at least we're going in the right direction, even if we might be committing mistakes. But the ultimate mistake that the conditioned soul makes is their just relentless, causeless unwillingness to surrender to Krishna. They just do not want to accept that Krishna is the proprietor. Anything but that. They do not want to accept that Krishna is the enjoyer. They do not want to accept that Krishna is the well-wishing friend. just anything besides that. I'll try a million different things, a billion different things before I consider that one. So that's the main mistake, and the mistake that causes all problems, really. And as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that 5:29, that for one who accepts this, and for one who lives in this way, as Krishna lives in Krishna consciousness, then they have peace. 5:29. That's the last verse of the chapter. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So we all want peace from the pangs of material miseries. We do not want to suffer. So Krishna, he gives the solution here. He says that just accept me as the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. Accept me as the proprietor. Accept me as the supreme friend. Just accept me. That's all you have to do. And not just accept me in a religious way or just in the sense of blind faith or something, but accept me and live like that. Live as if everything belongs to me. In other words, give everything to me. Out of love and devotion, patram pushpam palam toyam yoma bhakti prachati. Out of love and devotion, give things to me as a loving exchange. Treat me as your friend. Worship me as your friend, as your supreme most friend. And in this way, we could feel peace from the pangs of material miseries. And the more we're able to live like this, the more we experience that. And the more we experience that, the more we want to give it to others. We want to give Krishna consciousness to others. And that's the teaching of the Krishna consciousness movement, that Krishna is the supreme friend, the proprietor, the enjoyer, and as soon as we realize that, the sooner we realize that, the better. And the more we're able to accept and act in that way under this principle and introduce it to others, then that is our success in Krishna consciousness. All right, does anybody have any question, comment? Yes, Virchandra. Energy? Where do we take energy to follow this? No, that's I could repeat. Virchandra just saying, where do we gain energy, right? To follow this. Yeah. Well, one of the main ways we are able to be successful is sadhu sangha, by the association of devotees. The association of devotees, it will encourage us in the path. It will give us energy. Non-devotees, they will zap our energy. They will take our energy, and they will influence us to not follow these principles. This Krishna is the enjoyer. Forget about it. Who is this person, Krishna? Krishna is the supreme friend. Forget about it. Krishna is the proprietor. No, you're the proprietor. Come on, where's your stuff? Where's your house? And where's your, what do you call that? Dirt bike. And your quad and your boat. Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. I'm thinking about organ actually. Well, I'm thinking about my father. Because my father would be asking me, "Where's your boat? Where's your quad? Where's your house?" Yeah, he was here some time ago. So, or whatever it may be, people. Where's your this? Where's your that? You should enjoy. You should be the proprietor. So yeah, non-devotees will encourage us in that way, but the devotees will encourage us to surrender to Krishna. That's the difference. So therefore, we're careful. Not that it's not that they have like a, although there's some places in scriptures like that you see the face of a materialist jump in the Ganga, but it's not that, okay, we can't get close to them or we can't speak with them or anything like that, but we're just careful in their association. That's all. I think Gorkeshwa, you had something? So yeah, whereas sadhus, that's the real encouragement, that's where the real energy comes. Everything comes from, all success is achieved.
Thank you, Balaram Prabhu. Wonderful talk. In the beginning, you were mentioning about various. Sorry, my voice is not good. In the beginning, you were mentioning about various mantras we chant, before, after we perform the deity worship, and we have printouts outside. So, just want to share one beautiful mantra which I like very much. It says, "Aparadha Shahasrani Kriyarte Har Nisham Maya Dasohamiti Manmatva Chamasva Madhusudna." Which means thousands of offenses are performed by me day and night, but thinking of me as a servant, kindly forgive those, O Madhusudna.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah, after we do the puja, we chant this mantra to beg forgiveness from Krishna. Because anyways, we all are doing.
Yeah, thousands of offenses are performed by me day and night. So,
but thinking of me as a servant.
Thinking of me as your servant, Krishna, please forgive all these offenses. Yeah. Yeah, day and night, it's interesting. You could be committing offenses in your dreams. Some people do. Some people do that. They're in their dreams and they're criticizing a devotee, or they're yelling at a devotee, or. I guess it's better to do it in the day. The night than the day, right? It's like, yeah, I commit all my Vaishnava at night in my dreams. That's better. That's true. That's true. It's better. But still, we don't want that either. But yeah, at night, so many offensive things, right? So yeah, day and night. So therefore, we pray to Krishna. Krishna, please, just I'm your servant. Consider me your servant. Please forgive these offenses. Which means that we should, many of the things we do are unintentional or by accident or just by ignorance, and we just, yeah, you have a...
So you're talking about making mistakes, and I'm just wondering if you had an opinion on if the unfortunate situation occurs where there's, like you were giving the example of greeting someone, for example, and there's all these different steps that need to be taken. And if you find yourself in the situation where there's not enough people to do all of the things that need to be done, I was wondering if you had an idea if it was preferable to try to do many things kind of at not fully, and so you're like making mistakes at each of those things, but you are actually doing them, or to just pick one or two things and do them and then leave the rest? Or like, do you have an idea of like which is the greater mistake, to like, for example, to not have a garland or to have like a shoddy garland? Like just as an example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, part of it's like, there might be situations in which we can't do everything, but we should do as much as possible. And a lot of that depends on us planning ahead. So you have to plan ahead, and then much of the things could turn out properly, in my experience, if things are planned ahead. But yeah, if there's no planning ahead, it's like, oh, well, where's Prabhupada's garland that we were going to use for the guests? It's like, well, somebody took it to a funeral or something, or what do we do? Or so yeah, we have to plan ahead. But I mean, Bhajanarayan Swami quotes that if you receive a guest, then you give them a garland, you give them sweet words, you give them a place to sit down, you give them some water, and he goes through a whole step. If you can't do this, if you can't do this, if you can't do this, in other words, if you're really failing just due to maybe poverty or whatever it may be, then you just fold your hands. You say, but you cry and say, "Please forgive me. I couldn't do all of this. So if there's some mistake like that, then humbleness always wins people's heart. So that's there.
Okay, so cry. I can do that.
Yeah. Just cry. Yeah. All right. So Gaurkeshwan and Nangapriya are here, and their children. I was going to give Vrinda a set of Jagannath deities, but they said they already have 3 sets. So they have their own set, and then somebody gave Mukunda a set, and then they have some other set. So I don't think, because I was going to give Vrinda her own Jagannath deities for her personally. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Mukunda said you can have 4th, so one per person. Right, 1 set per person. Yeah, maybe that's... Okay, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.